It was really important to carry out this research because we recognised that there was something happening here that was essentially discrimination against cancer patients who were cured of their disease. So what we realised was that cancer patients who had received their treatment, had gone through their treatment, had then been declared cured by their oncologist, were then going to try and access travel insurance, mortgage insurance, health insurance, etc., and found that they were being asked to declare their cancer diagnosis even though they're cured of their disease. So what we found was that even though cancer survivors, and if you look in Northern Ireland, there are 110,000, nearly 110,000 cancer survivors, even though they're cured of their disease, they were still being asked to declare their cancer diagnosis, and that was having an impact as to whether they would get appropriate premiums in relation to their insurance, would they get a quote, etc. And that really is just not acceptable. And that's against the premise of providing fair health for everybody. It's not bad enough that you've gone through a cancer diagnosis and a cancer treatment and successfully beaten cancer, yet you still have a scenario where cancer patients are being discriminated against in relation to what I would call financial toxicity. So in order to campaign against this financial discrimination against cancer patients, the community has come together to develop a right to be forgotten. That means that essentially your cancer diagnosis is forgotten because you've gone through 5 years of survivorship and you're cured of your disease. And so in that situation, you shouldn't be asked for your cancer diagnosis to be declared. You should be able to go and get health insurance, travel insurance, mortgages, just like anybody else in the community, because you aren't at any increased risk of developing cancer compared to everybody else. So what we want is legally binding everywhere in Europe, every country in Europe, legally binding here in Northern Ireland, so that the 110,000 cancer survivors in Northern Ireland are not discriminated against financially because of a previous cancer diagnosis. I hope that it will shine a light on this discrimination. So that's the first thing, because a lot of people don't know this is happening. Obviously the cancer survivors do, but the rest of the general population don't know, and they need to know. This needs to be laid out in the open to show the discrimination that's happening against cancer survivors. We've started to collect the data, because the data is really important. And if you look at it, France has now had 8 years experience of this. 8 years, and there's been no insurance company that has had any significant impact on in relation to increase in or decrease in profits, etc. So this is not about compassion. This is about evidence. And the evidence shows that if you are 5 years post-treatment, you are essentially cured of your disease. It's hard enough to have a diagnosis of cancer. You're then brave, you go through the treatment, you successfully beat cancer, and then you're being asked essentially to, if you like, pay twice. Cancer doesn't unfortunately discriminate in terms of age, so you can have young people getting cancer, middle-aged people getting cancer, older people getting cancer. This financial discrimination is against all of those people.